So I use my stand mixer for this. It's easier for me. You can use, a bowl and a hand mixer as well. You take 1 stick of butter melted. Now in this video, I'm going to double the recipe. It's the holiday time, so I like to double it. Plus you'll see how much of this yields the size of the cookies that I make. So I use 2 sticks of butter melted. They're almost melted. They're very, very soft. And then to that, I'm going to add 2 servings. I'm going to double 3/4 cups of sugar, so it'll be 1.5 cups of sugar. And then we'll go ahead and beat that up so it's nice and combined. And the sugar's well incorporated into the butter. And then once that's done, we'll go ahead and add in our eggs. So the recipe calls for 2 large eggs, but I'm going to go ahead and double this with 4 large eggs. And then go ahead and incorporate those eggs into the butter and sugar mixture. Go ahead and scrape down the sides of your bowl if needed. That's what I'm doing here. And then 1/4 cup of milk, but I doubled that for 1/2 cup of milk, and then I'm going to make sure that's well incorporated as well. And then I use the McCormick's Anise extract. I get this off of Amazon. I like it because it's clear. And I put in 1 teaspoon, and in this case 2 teaspoons. And then incorporate that into the batter as well. It doesn't take too long. And then we'll move on to our dry ingredients. So it calls for 2 3/4 cups of flour, but I'll go ahead and double that in this recipe. And then 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, but I'll go ahead and double that as well. And then you just incorporate that until it's well mixed. It'll be a thicker dough. It's a little bit of a drier cookie. This is not the Italian cookies made with the ricotta, and the ricotta makes it more moist and softer. And I halved my flour. I did half, mixed it, and then now I'm putting in the other half. My stand mixer is a 5.5 quart, so 5 cups of flour usually sends it on a little bit of a wobbly adventure, which you might see a little bit of that towards the end. I definitely need to upgrade my stand mixer. I'm just trying to find the right timing to do that. But I've had this for well over 18 years now, and as you can see, it's still doing very well. And I have not had to replace any parts or anything like that, so knock on wood, these are excellent mixers. So here I am just putting in the baking powder. Like I mentioned earlier, it was 2.5 teaspoons, and I doubled that up. This is where I could use those extra parts to keep the flour in, but my hands did the trick. Okay, so once it's all well incorporated, you can take that bowl off your mixer, and we're going to go ahead and get our scoopers ready to scoop. I try to use the same size, and I bought these new ones. They come in a few different sizes, so I guess I'll try them out. My other scooper broke, so I look at this red one. That seems to be the right size that I'll use for these cookies. They're a little bit bigger than I usually make. But spray down your cookie pans, and that's me just portioning out the cookies. So there's 16 on this tray, and then I'll go ahead and do my second tray. And there's 14 on that tray. So that was a double batch. Now these are large cookies. Now I'm getting my surface ready because after the cookies cool, which I'll put them on this rack to cool, then we're going to go ahead and frost them. And I decided to film this, and that gush of warm air came out of the oven, but I do like to check the bottoms, make sure they're toasted a little bit, and these are perfectly done. So I'll go ahead and take these out and put them on the cooling rack. And the full recipe will be down in the comments with all the times of how long I left them in the oven. I did put the oven at 350. So now we'll make the glaze. It's 1 cup of confectionery sugar to 4 to 5 teaspoons of milk and a teaspoon of anise. But you'll find as you're watching me do the recipe, I definitely had to add a little extra milk in here. And again, I doubled this up for a double recipe. Yeah, so I needed to add a few extra teaspoons of milk, but that's the consistency that I like it at. So what I do is I just start frosting the cookies. I usually do like 4 at a time, and then I went ahead and put the sprinkles on. So I like the cookies to be still a little bit wet, so the sprinkles stick to them. I don't want them to dry all the way. And then that's how I went ahead and frosted all of these. And as you can see the size of them. They're pretty large cookies. I hope you make this recipe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more of my family favorite recipes. And I'll put the recipe down in the description box, along with some links to some of the items that I used today, if that's helpful for you. Otherwise, thank you for watching.